What is up, you guys? Back at it again with another custom. Today we're doing a pair of Air Force Ones. It's going to be a NASCAR DuPont Jacket custom. If you don't know what that is, it's going to be Jeff Gordon. He's a NASCAR driver. One of my buddies at work picked up a jacket. He wanted something to match with it, so he picked up a pair of Air Force Ones and we're doing a little custom on it. Follow along, comment below, tell me what you guys think about it, and I'll see you at the end. Later. Alright guys, let's start off by taking off these laces real quick. So my client actually ordered these Air Force Ones off of Nike ID with the red front and the red in the back and the red sole, and it also had a blue tongue. So this custom was actually a really good base to start off to make this NASCAR inspired Air Force One. Right now I'm just prepping the leather, hitting it with a little bit of deglazer. I always brush off because a lot of cotton and lint is always left behind on these when you're wiping down all the actual leather when you're prepping it or whatnot. Right now I use a quick like cotton pad to get like the big areas or whatnot, and then I usually will switch over to like something like a Q-tip swab or something like that. Q-tips are really good to really get those details. If you guys are ever doing any customs or doing any painting or whatnot, make sure that you guys are really getting into those crevices, because those are really spots that people forget, and that could really make or break your custom. I'm right now just making sure, just taking my time, hitting all the little edges, making sure I'm getting like around the thread area. When you're using a cotton ball or a cotton swab, it tends to not really get in those areas, so I'm making sure I'm getting in between the cracks where the leathers meet and stuff like that as well too. So here now I'm actually gonna lay down this tape on this Nike check swoosh. I want to make sure that it's, when I first did the first sneaker, I didn't really prep it like how I did this one. To make life a little bit more easier, I thought it'd be easier to prep this Nike check so that it wouldn't get any paint on it. Because what happens is I'm going to have to add yellow paint to this swoosh, and adding yellow paint on top of blue paint, it's really hard because then you have to add more layers than what you actually really need. The white leather is actually a really good base. And you saw all I did was just, block out the beginning of the check. And then now I'm going to add some blue paint. Blue paint, I really, I add it really light. You'll see that it's going to be really patchy, really thin layer. The key to actually painting leather is really thin layers, and then also I use a heat gun in between the layers as well too. This helps assure that the actual paint will stick or bond to the actual leather. I'm right now just again hitting you'll see that it looks real sloppy, but it's just adding a real light coat to it. And you'll also notice on the mid panel I'm only painting the middle because where those white areas are going to be on the mid panel, I'm actually going to be painting those a whole nother color. So just follow along and you'll see. And you see how I'm getting that blue paint onto that painter's tape where the swoosh is. That's what was happening to me on the first shoe when I first did this. And then also now I'm going to take my fine liner brush, and I'll sit there and I'll hit all the edges really well. Those big brushes tend to be really hard to get around the areas, especially around the sock liner. It's really hard to avoid bleeding sometimes on those sock liners around that area. Just take your time. A good fine liner is really good for like the stitch area and the edges as well too. If you get a little paint on the red areas, you could always either prep it more than I did. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been painting for a long time, so I really don't need to prep. I'm pretty good on staying on the panels or whatnot. But if you do end up getting any paint on blue paint onto the red areas or whatnot, it's simple. Just basically all you have to do is just wipe it off, and then you're good to go. Again, I'm coming back with that big brush, hitting the big areas. Because as you can see also too, like this paint, it's getting thicker and thicker. The layers are getting thicker and thicker. And what's crazy is when I was painting this, I thought this blue didn't match the tongue, and I was like, oh man, I hope this is gonna really match. What happened is, so once I put down all the layers, that blue paint that I'm adding now, that fresh blue paint, has a real like sheen to it. Look how matte that tongue is. So it kind of throws it off, and you're like, man, is this the right color or whatnot? It came out perfect. It's the exact match color that I was looking for. After I hit that matte finisher at the end, it was spot on. And again, I'm just getting in those big areas with the big brush, and then the little brush, I'm just hitting, just the little areas. A little trick, if you guys are trying to have a hard time trying to clean up, keep toothpicks around. Toothpicks are really good for like cleaning like little spots of paint that get like on the edges or whatnot. You can really clean that up real nice. And make sure you're doing really good layers. Check it, see if you can. Sometimes I take the shoe and I'll go to different parts of the house because there's better lighting or whatnot, and just verify and see if there's any patchiness or anything like that. Make sure you're not missing any areas, because sometimes lighting is not adequate. I need better lighting. This is my new office, so I got two. I think I have 3 lights running. I have the light that's actually in the room, an LED light shining over me, and then I also have a recording light as well. But lighting's really key when you're actually doing a lot of customs. So, and also hitting it with that heat gun. That heat gun will really set that paint. Look at this swoosh. This is perfect. Right now I'm going to go in with the yellow. Again, big brush. We're going to hit those big spots just to lay that paint on there. And again, we're going to start off with real thin coats, and we're going to build it up until we have full coverage. And again, in between these coats, you're going to make sure you're hit with the blow dryer really well. Make sure it's really dry. It speeds up the process as well too, so you can actually get your customs done a lot faster as well. But and then I come back in with a little brush and I get those little edges as well too. But yeah, it's a back and forth game. Just paint, dry, paint, dry, paint, dry, and lots of patience. Just be patient when you're doing any type of painting or whatnot. But yeah. And also now you also see me adding paint to the mid panels. You see I'm starting to add the stripes. There's going to be striping in that mid panel area, so I'm adding down the yellow. There's going to be 2 other colors that are going to be on it as well too. Me leaving those white spots helped a lot because again, yellow paint's really hard to paint over blue, so I wanted to make sure I just made that blue middle piece blue and kept the edges white. So, and here's actually another better view for you guys, so you guys can see. I'm going to add this I believe it's atomic, no, yeah, I think it's like a atomic green or something like that, neon green or something like that. I love this green. This green is really nice. Actually, green's actually one of my favorite colors. And I'm just gonna go hit it with layers, and you'll see layer, dry, layer, dry, layer, dry, and continuously keep doing that same exact thing. Again, just building up the colors. You don't ever want to just slap it on there. Just building it up. And I'm bringing it right next to that yellow. You'll see that there's gonna be some striping. So the inspiration on this one was from Jeff Gordon's NASCAR. My buddy actually, he had gotten a jacket and he wanted to get these shoes to match the jacket as well too. And the inspiration, this shoe is actually really kind of spot on to the actual race car. I'll put a little picture for you guys if I haven't put one already at the beginning. But now I'm adding the blue right now, and again, we're taking our time. This blue is actually really opaque, so I really didn't have to put too much layers of the blue, which is really great. And then after I'm done with everything, I go back in. Sometimes I'll go touch up the yellow. I'll go back in, touch up the green. I also will touch up the blue as well. And then on the swoosh as well too, there's a number on the actual NASCAR that's all yellow, and then it's got like this black thick outlining. I go back in and I start adding the black outlines. As you can see right now, I'm actually adding the black outlines right now. And also I'm going to add some black lines in between these stripes. It's crazy because I wanted it to be a little bit more straight, the lines when it came to the actual striping. I couldn't get it too straight because the actual leather actually had this sort of texture to it, but it actually came out really nice because it kind of goes with the actual texture, because it's not a smooth leather, those mid panels. Also where the lace holes are, that's not smooth leather as well. So, but again, I'm going in with that fine liner. I'm actually just painting on the outside of the actual stitching, and I actually go back in and I actually hit the actual leather cut of the actual Nike swoosh. I didn't record the back where I painted the back panel blue, You guys can check out my Instagram. I actually, do lives. Here's me doing a little detail on the Nike Air logo on my Instagram. It's Matt Miggy. Follow along if you guys want to see a little bit more content. Hey, what's up guys? What you guys think about that video? Alright, here's the sneaker. Tell me what you guys think. We ended up going with some blue laces. Customer wanted some blue laces on it. I think it looks sick. It matches the actual striping on it. I want to actually show you guys something really quick too as well. I mentioned in the video, the leather has like this type of texture on it. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's why I had the black lines. They actually have like a almost, they look like they're crooked, but they're not. It's just the actual texture of the leather. But just a quick view, just want you guys to see it. So I couldn't really show you guys in the actual video. I think they came out awesome. They look great. These are going to get shipped out back to Florida. I hope the customer loves them. I'm sure he will. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys really enjoyed this video, like it on the bottom, comment below, tell me what you guys think about it. This was a real fun one. It's a little bit different. I usually don't do too many paint jobs, but this was something that I really enjoyed. Something different, just a little bit out of the norm. Usually I'm doing cutting or sewing or whatnot, but this was fun too. If you guys have any questions or whatnot, or if you guys are interested in any type of customs, comment below or send me a DM on Instagram at Matt Miggy. I'll see you guys on another one. Later.